holding him off.
Yeah, Fong leaned on Cameron Beaubier and was like, I'm not giving you this position, even though you had a good spot on the racetrack. So Fong continues to lead. I like what I'm seeing from Gagne. And there is Josh Herron, your championship points leader, back there in 4th place. We're still nice and tidy,
Yeah, we got a big red flag. I see dust in the background.
Yeah, red flag.
Dust in the background there. There's Dion Campbell, Max Flinders. So it's going to be Max Flinders and Dion Campbell who've come down at the end of the back straightaway. Those bikes almost look like they're welded together. So real bummer here for both of these riders. But I could see the dust in the background there.
The airbag suit inflated for Max Flinders on the right, and that Bison suit. So those two riders, you can see they're just kind of like, okay.
You're not going to find two nicer guys either in the paddock there. As you can see, Bryce Cornbell here also has problems. So we're going to go back and look and see maybe at some point, Greg, we'll see, did he put some stuff down on the ground maybe that could have taken a couple guys down? Because there was a big gap behind our lead, like 6 or 7 guys. You see some smoke there and probably some fluid.
Yeah, the smoke not coming out of spots it should be coming out of for sure, right around that yellow flag. So for Cornbow, unfortunately, it looks like he's going to be out of this race. And these two riders, their bikes are tangled together. So our corner workers are going to help them get this thing sorted out, and so are we. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll get you more information about what's going on here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course after this.
The red flags are out here after that lap 1 instant, and Rod, you can see there for Bryce Cornbow's bike, plenty of smoke coming out of it, and you'd imagine a bit of fluid down. His teammate involved in it as well, Dion Campbell. But unfortunate there for Campbell and Flinders.
Yeah, and see Max there as well, getting collected in that. And it was great to see those riders. Look at the bikes. It looks like they're kind of stuck together. They're having problems getting them to separate there, and you don't really see that too often.
Yeah, and you can see for Flinders, the helmet's off already, and just trying to get his bike free. And we'll wait and see exactly what happened for them out there. That's just one of our camera positions out there as well for the lap 1 shots. But we can see now for the crew just coming out to where Bryce Cornbow's bike is as well. And just at the end of the lap there for Cornbow, we saw Roger was in the middle of the lap where that incident happened. So a little bit further on was when Cornbow came to a stop.
Yeah, it looked like we seen the crash. It looked like turn 6, and it kind of looked like he made it all the way to Thunder Valley. So it could be a little bit of a cleanup. If might take a while, but you never know in these situations how much actually went on the track.
Yeah, a lot of the times, as we even saw this weekend in MotoGP for Jack Miller, a lot can just get held in the belly pan there. But Michael Hill's down in pit lane as well.
I'm just down here in the pit lane, and an unfortunate start there to that Superbike race. I want to try and have a quick word, if we can, with one of the riders, SDK, Sean Dillon Kelly, on the back of that fantastic podium last time out. Let's see if we can get a word with the M4 Vision Wheel X-Star Suzuki rider. And Sean, nobody likes a red flag so early in the session, but sorry, I knew you were looking at the screen there. Looks like we're going to have a bit of a clean-up operation going on. Nobody likes a red flag so early, but how was that getaway, the start for you?
Yeah, it was all right. I'm still trying to perfect my starts on this Suzuki. Don't think it was the best one. Obviously, I got passed by Herron, who was behind me. But first lap in general was all right. Just hope we could get back underway here soon.
Okay, we'll let you go obviously and get back in the zone. Now, let's see if we can just have a little move a little bit further on, Steve. Again, riders now obviously trying to get obviously the bikes nice and cool. Obviously, one of the riders that we saw involved in that was the unfortunate Max Flinders, and that's such a shame for Max. And I wonder whether we can maybe get a word with Martin, that's his dad, if he's prepared to talk to us, and trying to see where. Oh, he's here. Sorry, Martin. I was looking to see where you were. Martin, no, just in there to SDK. An unfortunate start. Nobody likes to see an incident on the opening lap. We don't know what caused it, but potentially something down on the track, and it's taken a couple of riders, including Max, which is unfortunate.
It looks like an engine's gone and put some oil down, and we were gathered up with it. We're hoping he can make it back. We're ready to jump on it if he can.
Excellent stuff. Well, obviously, we'll let you guys get ready. The good news, of course, is that he was on his feet, as was the other rider involved.
His suit went off right nicely, so it behaved itself.
Absolutely, and of course, just a shout out there to the privateer team. And I also want to give a shout out down here to Ashton Yates. We don't have too long. Obviously, he went down in the stock race earlier. They've rebuilt the bike. Ashton, can I get a quick word, super quick? Let's see if we can just get a word in here with Ashton. I'm not as agile as you. I'm not even going to attempt to jump over the wall. We don't have very long. I've got about 30 seconds, but just no ill effects from that crash earlier. Feeling good?
Yeah, it was just, a little low-sided, unfortunately, first lap. I think the front tire was a little cold, but our speed is there, and all. I just need to keep it on 2 wheels.
Thank you very much indeed. Good to see that Ashton then is going to make it out again. So like I said, riders just trying to stay cool, stay hydrated and get ready for this restart. Of course, we'll hope and keep you updated with the condition as to the track and also the riders, whether or not Dion Campbell and Max Flinders can make it back. But with that, I'm going to step away and hand over to Greg White and Jason Pridmore. Over to you guys.
Welcome back to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course here in Lexington, Ohio, where fans are packed in for this Permco MotoAmerica Superbike weekend. Now we're under red flag conditions. Let's take a look if we can see exactly where this incident happened.
Yeah,
kind of looking at the fence line.
You see, there's that's Bryce's bike.
Bryce Cornbow.
So something lets go there and probably puts some fluid down. Now I got to think that is what caused this Dion Campbell, Max Flinders situation. Both those bikes don't look great, and there's Bryce's going up on the truck as well.
But thank goodness the riders are in good shape. And another rider that was in good shape before this red flag came out was Bobby Fong, and he's with Jamie right now.
Bobby Fong's been in good shape for the last couple of races, considering the fact that he's now won 4 Superbike races in a row, and you were off to a strong start there. Even when you brought the bike in, your team saying what a great start that was. Now knowing that you have to go out and do it again, how do you repeat?
Honestly, we're all in the same boat. It's unfortunate for the guys who blew up and was in that incident, but we're just going to stick with the game plan and give it our all and see what we got at the end. It's going to be a long, hot race for sure, but we just got to stay consistent and be smart.
You only did the siding lap, you did the warm-up lap, couple corners there before the red flag came out. In terms of how the track has changed when the sun has been out all day, it's continued to temperature rise. How different is it now compared to qualifying?
It's not too bad, honestly. I think the biggest difference is going to be this heat cycle that we now have on these tires. So, but like I said, we're all in the same boat, and we just got to manage. Somehow we're gonna do what we can, and like I said, it's going to be a dogfight for sure.
See Bobby trying to stay cool with that ice pack in the front of his shirt there, see what he can do once we get back out to racing. I'm going to swing over to the other side of the Attack Performance Yamaha team and Jake Gagne. Jake's had a win this season. You've had a bunch of podium results, and you said it, obviously the bike's good. You've been able to change the way you're riding it a little bit. Where are you at right now?
We're third on the grid, and I think we're third, for half a lap. But, I mean, it's always a bummer to see a red flag. I don't know exactly what happened, but yeah, like Bobby said, it's going to be a dogfight. All these guys are going fast, so just try to be in the show, have some fun.
When you get back out there, being in the show, having some fun with the conditions the way they are, the competition, what it is right now, how do you do that?
Just try to beat the other guys. That's about it.
Sounds simple enough. I think anybody could do it, right, Greg?
Well, if you're Jake Gagne, he's got a lot of potential. You're talking about a rider who's got 42 Superbike race wins in his career. He had 17 in the 2021 season. But this guy right here, Cameron Beaubier, he's thinking about that start he had. But, yeah, everybody trying to stay cool in these conditions. And he is definitely focused and looking for definitely a better race start. So, obviously, officials out on the race course right now, double-checking to see if there's any fluid on the track and getting this situation under control. And a mystery arm goes out to touch Cameron Beaubier on the face. As we look at our championship point standings, to remind you where we are, this is how close it is this late in the season, as Herron has a 5-point lead over Bobby Fong and Beaubier just 16 points back. And Jake Gagne, who we talked to for a moment, 55 points adrift with, well, Jay, we have 7 races remaining, because keep in mind we have 2 races here at Mid-Ohio. Then in a few weeks' time, we're off to Circuit of the Americas for another 2. But here's what's really interesting about this championship standings as we look at the final race of the season at New Jersey Motorsports Park. We have a triple header coming at you to wrap the season up, and anything is possible late September in New Jersey, including the R word, rain.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. And I think that when you look at it, we've seen Josh Herron go on a big winning streak. We've seen Bobby Fong go on a big winning streak. We haven't seen Cam Beaubier go on a big winning streak yet, but he's off to a good start here this weekend, getting pole position, and we'll see how he gets on and see if he can start one of his own.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be closer to getting this race back underway here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. So hang tight.
Thanks for staying with us on MotoAmerica Live Plus. My name is Michael Hill. Still down here in the pit lane. We're in the middle of a red flag situation caused by an incident on the opening lap of the Superbikes race number 1. We just heard from Greg and Jason just talking about what is happening. I want to see if I can maybe just get a word with Cambobier, if you don't mind. I was going to jump the wall, but you made that nice and easy for me. Cam, obviously nobody wants a red flag. You're just getting into the zone there. Obviously, just explain to the fans what you now go through mentally getting ready for this restart.
Yeah, shoot, just kind of wait and you know, see how many laps are left, and yeah, just try to put that first start out of my head and line up and do it again. Yeah, I didn't get off the line as well as I wanted to. And yeah, me and Bob were kind of battling, going on the brakes, going into the corner off the back straight. So yeah, just hopefully get off the start a little bit better and see how it shakes out.
You mentioned that sort of move or attempted move down on Bobby on the opening lap. Had that have been the last lap, would you have just let the brakes off? You'd have just gone for it if it was a bit later in the race?
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I was hoping you would say. I wouldn't expect any other answer. We'll let you sit back down and stay cool. Thanks for talking to us, Cambobier. He knows how to win races. As I said, he knows how to win championships. I want to just take a little walk a little bit further up and just put the spotlight maybe onto to some of the riders that we don't always necessarily speak. This is the Scheibe BMW team down here, Danilo Lewis, their sole rider. And I'm just going to come across if we can. And Danilo, good to see you. Just a very quick question to you. How are you feeling for the restart?
I'm feeling good. My bike worked too good. My team, Scheibe Racing, worked too hard all these days. Our training is more fast, more better. I have confidence. Just oil now. But let's go. Our riders okay. Go full too fast.
I love it. Full gas. Full gas. Always full gas with Danilo. I love it. Always smiling as well. Just very quickly as well, we'll just move a little bit further up the pit lane as Danilo just sits back down just to get himself ready. Just want to put the spotlight a little bit on a guy that has already been at the sharp end this week. And in fact, both of these guys have Solly Mervis down here doing a splendid job as an umbrella guy. There's nobody on the bike, but of course they keep the umbrella here just to keep the fuel temperature down in the bike as well. This is the bike of JD Beach, already a winner today in Stock 1000. In fact, JD just stood or sat over here alongside Hayden Gillam as well. They're just looking at the screens and getting themselves ready for this restart. We're going to see JD back in action tomorrow. We're also going to see Hayden a little bit later as well. And now they just realised that they're on TV. There you go. Right then, they're waving at me to tell me to go. It's all right, I'm not coming to you now. I'm going to leave you alone. Let's hand back upstairs to Greg and Jason.
Back here at Mid-Ohio, Sports Car Course in Lexington, Ohio. Beautiful sunny day. What a weekend we have had so far. Not a lot of wind to really talk about, but I was, before the break, talking about the remainder of the 2025 MotoAmerica schedule, JP. Obviously, today, tomorrow, we're here in Lexington, Ohio, and then September 12th through the 14th, we're at Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. Can't wait to see what greets us there. So make sure you get your tickets. And then that triple header for this category, September 26th through the 28th at New Jersey Motorsports Park. And don't worry if you're in the Philadelphia area. All right, no Eagles stuff going on during that weekend. So you're free to come out to the races, have a lot of fun. All right, under red flag conditions, continuing on. And Jamie Howe is still working down there. What do you got, Jamie?
A lot of our riders taking this opportunity to try and cool off. We talked about the fact the track temperature nearing 120 degrees as it continues to rise this afternoon. And JD, for you, you've already raced once today, having won the Stock 1000 race. Congratulations. Coming back out now with Superbike, doing Superbike Cup. How are you able to use everything that you learned from race to race to help you out?
It definitely it helps a lot. Just kind of learning what how the track is as it gets warmer. But today's a hot day, and 2 races is a lot. But I mean, I'm pumped. This is what I love to do. I mean, sweating, it's hot, it's hard, but this is what I sign up for. This is what I get paid for. So I mean, I'm pumped. We're racing and just kind of hanging out now, but just kind of itching to get back out there. I got a good start that first start, but I got to do it again, and we'll see what we can do.
It's a great opportunity not only for JD to be able to do multiple races over the weekend, but also for his teammate, Hayden Gillum. You have that knowledge that JD brings to the table to take out here in the Superbike. You've been developing this bike over the course of the season as it continues to go, obviously having fun down here as well. As the season continues to go, how much more comfortable are you aboard the Honda at this point?
It's getting, I'm getting better and better every weekend, I feel like, and we're learning more. And so it's, I'm enjoying it, and we haven't really had any new parts on the bike in a little while, so it's getting better every weekend. This is kind of the team's home race, and it's one of the closest races for us at home, so it's a little bit kind of a home race for us. So we're just trying to have a good weekend and see what we can do. JD was talking about how he had a good start, and I had the complete opposite. So I think I was 10th into turn 1, so that's not going to help me very much. But it's good. The bike's working good. I'm feeling pretty good around here. So hopefully I can get off the line a little bit better this next time and try and hang on to those guys at the front.
Having another opportunity to do that, what do you do when you put your helmet on in order to get a better start?
I've been asking myself that for a while. I don't know. We're going to try something and see if it helps. We'll see. It was the same thing on the baggers. We had to spend a full day of just doing launches to finally get my starts all right. So, yeah, we'll see. I'm not expecting a whole lot out of myself on the start, but hopefully something better than 10th place into turn 1 will be okay for me.
Well, practice makes perfect. Going to get another shot at it. And worth mentioning also, he said the bagger earlier today in the Mission Bagger Challenge, he was able to take home a $5,000 check as well. We'll see you back out on the racetrack later today. So a lot of action still to go here from Mid-Ohio. Greg.
That'll always put a smile on your face, winning 5K. Of course, with the heat, doing double duty, because we know he's got to get after it right after this. Does this guy, although, his teammate JD Beach has got his part of the other race done. Here's a look at the 88 bike of Max Flinders as we really look at the work that they have to do on this motorcycle. Jason, take us back in time a little bit. Like when you had your most fun teammate, the person that you really enjoyed the most and you had a good time with, what was that team environment like? Because we look at those two Honda riders of Hayden Gillum and JD Beach, and we know that they are just so BFF, and we know they're having a good time. Even with the competitive edge in there, how good was it when you had that kind of team structure?
Yeah, I was lucky to have some great teammates along the way for myself and some really good guys. And it takes the tension away from the team. Hayden and JD, they're working together. They're both on the same project trying to get these Hondas up front, and JD's done a good job on that in Stock 1000 and in the Superbike Cup. And Hayden Gillum, it's only a matter of time. We've seen some great things from him in the past, and we've seen some great things from him this year on the Honda. To his point, though, he's got to make a better start. If he really wants to shine, he's got to get out to the front with those guys, and Hayden knows that, and he'll continue to work it. But when you have a good teammate that you can bounce things off of and work together for the common goal of the team and make things better for both of you, it's always a lot more fun coming to the races.
All hands on deck for Thrashed Bike Racing Machine as they continue to look at the track to make sure it is safe and sound. We will step away once more, and we'll be back to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course with another update before Superbike Race 1 gets going.
Thanks for staying with us here on MotoAmerica Live Plus. Just a reminder to the fans trackside and those that are watching on TV that you can follow all the action throughout the season on MotoAmericaLivePlus.com. You can get the app as well. You can also follow everything at MotoAmerica.com for all the latest news, results, photo galleries as well. Now, what you are now looking at is what I am looking at. This is a spirited attempt, it has to be said, by the Thrashed Bike Racing team of Max Flinders. You can see Max there just stood on the right-hand side of his dad now, and Max Flinders, of course, has made it back. The bike has made it back. If we just take a little walk down here, the bike a little bit second-hand down here, and I'm trying not to get too much in the way. The bike came back in a few moments ago whilst Jamie was talking to some of the other riders. A very damaged seat. The exhaust also completely sort of flattened. But as you can see down here, they've ran back to their sort of area within the pit. They have taken an exhaust off one of their spare bikes. Looks like they're now going to try to take off the seat unit, which should be pretty straightforward. They're going to take off this tail section down here, replace that, which again should be relatively straightforward. And again, I'm trying not to get in the way. Corey down here, also Jason Simmons as well from the Impact Racing team. They're good friends, and of course Corey and Jeremy racing in Stock 1000. So a lot of people like following Max Flinders because of him being a true privateer. And it just goes to show you as well his popularity in the paddock. You now have teams that have been racing in Stock 1000 that should be potentially putting their feet up, coming down here to help this effort to get this thrashed bike racing Yamaha back on the grid. And Corey now just trying to clean up Max a little bit. Max, I'm going to come in and try and get a word with you. Again, if you don't want to talk, that's completely fine. Firstly, it's good to see that you're okay. Obviously, the Bison suit doing its job, as your dad said. And when we spoke to your dad, you wouldn't have known this because you were out on the track. He said, if we get the bike back, we're going to try and fix it. So, I mean, we're just saying that it's a proper privateer effort. This has got to give you a lot of spirit as well and a lot of hope, because just look at the people around helping as well. Jeremy and the Impact team and everybody trying to help you here.
Well, it's a good thing, you know, being one of the friendliest guys out here. You know, Jeremy's helping because we made good friends with him. The bagger team's jumping in. Anybody who could help's throwing themselves at this bike, trying to get us back out there. I mean, it's a shame what happened. It sucks, you know, the engine blew, there was oil on track. It happens during racing, but if this team can pull it off, I'm be amazed because this thing was pretty beat up. The Bison suit held up great. I actually remembered to charge it this time, and the airbag went off perfectly, so that was good. But yeah, no, if anyone can pull it off, I believe in these guys, but I hope I can get back out there.
Excellent stuff. We'll let you go and get back with the team. Just being told down here, 5 minutes to go then until the pit lane will reopen. There is a massive crowd stood up here on the balcony, all waving. Are you enjoying the weekend? Come on, let me hear you. Mid-Ohio going crazy. I'm going to hand back to Greg and Jason. We're getting closer, boys, to going racing again. Back to you.
Welcome back to Lexington, Ohio. Here at Superbike Race number 1 under red flag conditions. Permco MotoAmerica Superbikes at Mid-Ohio weekend. And if you're in the area and you're looking for something to do, you got to come on out here. Tons of people just like you enjoying the beautiful warm weather and race action at the same time. Let's get down to Jamie Howe, who continues to get after it on Hot Pit Lane.
All the riders being off the bikes means we can talk to all of them here in this red flag period for you, Sean. You weren't as happy with the start. You said the bike wasn't anything special out there for those opening corners. What do you do now to get a little more pace and a little more comfort when we get back to racing?
Yeah, no, I think the start wasn't too special. I think the bike definitely has potential. So let's see if I could get a better start, not get past this time, and ready for 16 laps. Going to do everything we can, and hopefully it's a good one.
You're able to finish on the podium in the last race back at VIR. Momentum-wise, has that done anything for this program?
Yeah, no, for sure. I feel like we've been so close all season long. Finally got the first podium out the way at Virginia, but we want to keep stacking them. So definitely feel like there's some momentum and ready to just keep on working.
I was talking to your crew chief, Jeremy Toy, back in the paddock earlier, and he referred to this program as a project because it's constantly evolving. As the rider that gets aboard that project, what has this process been like for you over this opening part of the season?
Yeah, I think it's been really special to be back with Team Hammer. First of all, obviously my first year with them on a Superbike, my first year on the Suzuki, and I think there's a lot of potential that we've already been showing, but yeah, I think that's also been showing because we've been working really hard. I think the guys that I brought with me, my data guy, my crew chief, and my guys, they've been working really, really hard, and again, it's showing. So got to keep on going, really enjoying it, and race time.
So a lot of racing left to go in this opening season for Sean Dillon Kelly with the Suzuki. But last weekend, I mentioned the fact that SDK finished on the podium. It was the first time in the Vision Wheel M4 X-Star Suzuki team history that they were able to have a double podium. Both himself and his teammate Richie Escalante were able to stand on the box. And for you, I know this weekend that progression has continued. Each and every session you've made some changes. How much more comfortable are you now versus Friday?
Yes, for sure. Again, starting a little bit difficult the weekend, but every session, every lap, I feel better and better. So the most important is start a little bit better right now and go to the front. I believe we have the pace. So, yeah, I'm happy at the moment and enjoy the race.
Activity starting to pick up. Looks like we're getting closer to racing. So for Richie Escalante, it's time to get the helmet on. And Greg, it's about time to get going.
Yeah, definitely racing is on the horizon. And for us, we are excited to get it going. Teams continue to work on bikes. We're going to be back to Mid-Ohio after this.
It's going. Everything's going on.
Well, thank you again for staying with us. You will not believe what has just been happening down here. Thrashbike Racing, the crowd up here looking down at this pit. All eyes in the center of the pit lane looking at Max Flinders' machine. They have taken hammers and ratchets and goodness knows what else, literally smacking parts off this bike to break it apart so they can actually get going again. There's a new seat on, there's a new clip-on on. The exhaust is now going back on. And again, June, if you just look to the right-hand side here, Max Flinders, who is sat on the pit wall, has his helmet back on here. There's 1 minute to go, and I tell you what, this is going to get the biggest cheer if Max Flinders is able to get back out there. He gives a thumbs up to the MotoAmerica crew who are checking that he is okay. They're going to need to put the belly pan on. Once this pit lane opens, there's then only going to be 1 minute more, so he's got literally about 90 seconds here. This is phenomenal work. We're used to seeing this kind of stuff in MotoGP and World Superbike, but the Thrashbike Racing Yamaha team, with the help of Impact Racing, a couple of the teams in the baggers, every single person down here helping this team to get back out. And I know, of course, when lights go out, we're going to be focused on the battle for the win, and that's understandable, but this is a real heroic privateer effort story, and I know that there's a lot of people trackside and a lot of people watching at home, especially from the UK where Max hails from, and this, I'm sure, is going to get a huge, big cheer. The track has now been opened, so riders are starting to make their way out. Looks as though the tyre warmers are about to come off. They're about to start the bike here for Thrashbike Racing. And the bike starts. There's a lot of dust and smoke coming out, but I think they got this done. There's a cheer down here from the team. And let's just stay with them before we head back up to Jason and Greg, as Max Flinders is about to get back out there. They started the bike. They've turned it off again. They're just making a couple of little adjustments. Don't have too long. They're going to put a little bit more tape on down here. You're watching this live as I'm watching it as well. There's not much time now. 1 minute to go. Stones firing out of the back of the exhaust. This is unbelievable, and the crowd up here are going absolutely crazy. If we can get a view here of the crowd cheering, Max Flinders is about to make it out onto the circuit. He only has about 30 seconds to make it, and he's not got very long. He's got about 25 seconds, or they're not going to let him out onto the track. Oh, this is, and they've turned the bike off again. This is absolutely heartbreak. The pit lane is now closed, and if Max Flinders can get to the end of the pit lane, he will be allowed to start from the back of the grid. So it's not over yet for Max Flinders. The bike starts, and he's getting ready. There's a little bit of panic down here. Just needs to stay calm. Here we go then, but Max Flinders has made it. He will start from the back of the grid. An incredible effort for the Thrashbike Racing team. My goodness me, I need to lie down.
Your eyes do not deceive you. That is the 88. That team just got that bike ready to roll here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. They're about 30 seconds late from getting him out, because you can hear that there are motorcycles out on the racetrack right now as they come for a quick start procedure. JP.
But that's okay. I mean, like right now for Max, they just put this bike together. After this is going to be a quick start procedure, Greg, where these guys are going to out coming around to the grid. And instead of the pageantry that we normally have at the beginning of these races, you can see they're going to have one crew member out there from each team, going to line their guys up. So for Max, he's going to have to come from the back row anyways, and he's probably going to be okay with that, because the sighting lap that he's going to go do right now is literally just a reconnaissance to see if his bike is straight, if it's okay, nothing's falling off of it and that kind of thing, and he'll line up at the back of the grid.
All right, some housekeeping things to talk about. If you joined us earlier during the red flag, you heard Bobby Fong talk about heat cycle on the tire. Now, the rules here in MotoAmerica during a red flag are you can pretty much do anything you want to your motorcycle. The only thing you can't do is change your tires, unless Dunlop deems it important. So in this particular case, the bike came off the racetrack and tire warmers got put on it. Now another heat cycle.
Yeah, looking at just looking at some of the riders and seeing what's happening here. And they should send these guys off for their
warm-up
lap.
And some riders need it too, because you know when you look at a superbike, you don't have fans on the back of your radiator like you would on a street bike. So these riders need to push some air through that radiator. And so basically all the riders are going to go by, and then they're going to pull that red flag away, and Max Flinders is going to be allowed to get out on the race course.
Yep, and we'll see. Guys will go through the area that we had our problem. They'll be able to go through with a little bit more pace. Now for Max, the big disadvantage here, Greg, is obviously while they were working on that motorcycle, they didn't have warmers on it because the thing was on a stand and they were fixing it and working on things. So he's got to go out there and be a little bit more careful. That's why you see the dirt on his tires as well. They literally brought that bike from turn 6 in the sand, dropped it off in the pits. Those guys went hard to work at it. The Superbike Racing boys down there to get their guy back out on the track. So he'll have to get the dirt off the tires to start with, then get some heat in the tires as well.
This is a warm-up lap, by the way, not the race. I know that Bobby Fong was
you can
in
see
the draft, but yeah, you can see the oil dry.
They're out there, and Bobby almost looked. Let's see what happens. If there was an issue where they felt like there was still some fluid that didn't get picked up, or something felt weird, sometimes you'll see riders kind of putting their arms up or maybe trying to talk to race control. So it looks like everybody kind of made it through all of the areas. You get a look at the exhaust that came off of Max's bike, that crashed exhaust on the right-hand side of your screen there. Brand new one was put on.
Yeah, and that's good heads up by the team. One advantage that this paddock has, Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, is it's a very compact paddock. We get a lot of teams that are close with each other. But Jamie, what did you see that was being done down there on his bike?
Well, you saw the exhaust that came off of it. It's brand new exhaust and work on the front frame, new handlebars, new seats. So there are a lot of unknowns for Max as he's completing this warm-up lap. But the team said it might not finish. It doesn't look pretty for sure. But the one thing that they know for certain is they were not going to give up until they were told it was too late. So it was great to see them able to get Max out there.
And the number 1 plate not really happy.
This is kind of what I'm talking about. You know, the riders will talk or look at each other or whatever. Josh doesn't look happy at the moment. So if other guys were to kind of make a stink about it, you'd probably see a little bit more concern. But we're going racing, Greg. See the green flag at the back. That says everybody's good.
So it looks like we're going to get this race underway. 16 laps scheduled now after the red flag. And here we go for race number 1. When these lights go off, we're getting after it. So away they go. Good launch from everyone on the front row. And Cameron Beaubier bends it into turn number 1, so he'll lead us, but a little wide goes Beaubier. Well, really,
Bobby just
turned it underneath him. Yeah, and Josh Herron goes right to P2.
This is what you got to love about Herron, though, right? I mean, literally, the guy was walking off the grid, and he's taking his head about worrying about things, and he just gets right down to business, Greg. Now, he's going to probably be the guy that's going to be really tight going down into turn 6. If he thought he felt anything at all fluid-wise, these guys are going to do everything they can to miss that. So let's see as they go down into turn 6, the first lap, Herron's going to take the lead.
So Josh Herron, and he goes a little bit wide underneath, goes Bobby Fong. So Herron trying to get around that oil dry, doesn't like what he felt on the warm-up lap, but he's still in the mix.
But it's Fong leading the way.
Oh! Sideways goes Herron.
So there's stuff there on, I mean, you could see there a problem with him just getting sideways. Everybody else kind of made it through, so we're going to have to keep an eye on things, Greg, still.
All right, so off we go racing. Bobby Fong now with a huge gap over Cameron Beaubier. Josh Herron now nestled back there somewhere around like 10th or 11th place.
Yeah, this is huge implications. So right now for Josh, he's just got to get himself settled again. He's had kind of a rough first lap here for him, which, obviously right now he's fighting a lot of things in the helmet with what he deems to be safe or not. He's still gesturing to race control, as you see here. Hayden Gillum goes up the inside of Benjamin Smith. That pass there, Greg, was for 6th place. Out front, Bobby Fong, Cameron Beaubier, and how about Sean Dillon Kelly talking about how nice it was getting that bike on the podium. He wanted to start racking some up. And then you got JD Beach, Greg, 4th on that stock 1000 bike with Gagne chasing him down from just behind.
So at the start, this is what Herron was talking about on the left part of your screen. Now we're getting to that same zone that Herron was talking about.
And we're going to see here on the left side, see how the bike backed in on him. A lot of other guys were on that same line, exact same line as Herron, and I didn't see their bikes move around as much. So we're going to have to just continue. They're coming into that area right now. Now, Bobby Fong runs an extremely tight line down into this turn 8 area. And now he's going to upshift one, go up over the top. Actually, I think the attack bikes stay in 2nd gear all through here. So he's got Beaubier just behind. And really, Greg, when you watch these lap times, they're probably going to be a couple, maybe 2.5 seconds off this first time through as they continue to test the levels of grip here at the track.
Bobby Fong in control, but Cameron Beaubier is closing up on him.
He is.
So Beaubier also figuring out where he can go on the racetrack, what feels comfortable for the number 6. So onto the front straightaway we go, and you see your live points implication of what's happened with Herrin dropping back. But Beaubier goes 125.9. So Jay, you're talking about a 123.6.
Yeah,
so you're talking about 2.3 off of. So you nailed it there. But Bobby Fong with that 126. So this section we know is good. It's got a lot of grip. And there is JD Beach.
I mean, what a job here from JD Beach. Riding a stock 1000 bike against the Superbikes, you can see how far along that team has got that bike as far as the Honda goes. His teammate, Hayden Gillum, is just the 4th one in your photo right here. There goes Hayden Gillum through. So he's also going to be trying to catch up now. Guys are starting to run a little bit more traditional. As you can see, JD Beach is going around the dry sweep. Gagne is going underneath the dry sweep. So none of the riders really want to get on that dry sweep itself. So as you see Gagne get extremely sideways coming down that hill, Greg. So, you know, it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Another one from Gagne as he tries to apply the gas. He spins up. So really the person in this second start who didn't make out was definitely Jake Gagne. As we continue to, left part of your screen is going to give you an idea of where riders are on the track. Herrin just passed for 9th place. Back of the pack, there's 69 going by. There's Benjamin Smith in 7th place. There's a look at the number 1. So for Herrin, he's starting to get more comfortable with where he feels there is traction on the race course. Onto the front straightaway comes the number 1. Now taking a look at his lap times, the 26.9. So just about a second slower than Cameron Beaubier, who went 25.9 last time by. Sean Dillon Kelly with the fastest Sector 2 split on the last lap. But here we have a race for the lead. With about 12.5 laps to go, it's Bobby Fong, who's on a 4-race win streak, and Cameron Beaubier, who's on a race drought this half of the season.
And the thing is when you have the dry sweep down in an area where you're braking deep, it definitely can change how you feel. Again, both riders, one to the inside, one to the out, and you can see these guys really respecting. Now I'm going to watch Gagne through this next left. Remember, Greg, he got the Yamaha very sideways on the exit of this corner last time. Much cleaner this time for the 32. Everybody's rolling through this section nicely, but you can see the pace is definitely off. So the respect level that the riders are having, it almost looks like this group in 3rd is starting to catch up to the 2 in front. So SDK definitely feeling a little more confident, as you can see on our display here. A 32.8, Greg. He was 0.6 quicker in the second split. Was the number 40 of Sean Dillon Kelly over Beaubier and Fong.
For Sean Dillon Kelly, he's got 110 points in this championship versus 242. So SDK's got nothing to lose idea mentality, and he would love nothing more than to put his Vision Wheel M4 XStar Suzuki on the top of the box. 3rd place is great when you hadn't done it this season, but he's hungry for more.
Well, let's keep in mind, too, that Sean Dillon Kelly led a number of laps here last year at Mid-Ohio, so he loves this place as well. So you got to look at the Tytler's crew there on the right side, watching their guy Cam Beaubier. He's closed that gap up, Craig. He should be able to get in the draft of Bobby Fong by the time they go through this kink and down the back straight. The biggest problem is what side do you try to pull out on as far as the braking goes? And you can see Bobby's about mid-track, so he's going to take the tighter line into here. Anybody that's going to want to pass him is going to have to go to the outside. As you can see again, all these riders kind of divided as they go down that back straight, and that's why the lap times are where they're at right now.
All right, so the Real Steel Honda team getting close together, of JD Beach leading the way of Hayden Gillum, his teammate, who has Jake Gagne in front of him. But looking at this lead battle, the number 50 Bobby Fong on that Attack Performance Progressive Yamaha on that 4-race win streak, getting a little sideways under acceleration. That's something we've seen most of the weekend from him. And then number 6, Tytler Cycles BMW, Cameron Beaubier.
Yeah, the riders here, Greg, from 3rd back to 6th, were all 4 of those guys back there were all faster than this lead pair. So Cam Beaubier is going to know. Bobby's going to have +0 on his board. If Cam ever had +2 on his board, it's coming down to +1 or +0 now, because this group behind 26 flat, 26.1 for 3rd and 4th place riders Kelly and Beach. The leaders are at 26.3, so they gained another 0.3.
And keep in mind that these lap times at the pace that we're looking at, the weather is awfully hot. There's definitely a heat cycle on the tires, so we're not saying it's all due to the conditions. But Max Flinders, from basically pit lane.
Let's go, Max.
Now in 11th place ahead of Lewis, Lampkin, Waters. It is good to see that team get that bike together. Ooh, looked like we might have had a pass off the back straightaway. But in one traditional passing spot here at Mid-Ohio, the back straightaway, it doesn't look like it's in a condition to really attack.
That can't be a worse spot, could there? That is the one spot where you feel like you can try to do something with somebody down there. And what ends up happening is that these four are closing in up a lot in the second split, which includes that very same turn you're talking about. Once you see those two leaders go through, if you're Sean Dillon Kelly, it gives you a little bit more confidence to kind of push your way through. So SDK continues to chip away. Now, 32.8, 33.0. How about a 32.7 for Hayden Gillum as he closes up onto the back of Gagne and JD Beach, as Gagne now looks like he's trying to take the long way around on JD Beach down there into the last corner. But Gillum is now closed up on the back.
Tip of the cap to Honda, American Honda, for supporting this team. And you can see how good that stock 1000 machine is of JD Beach, your leader in the Superbike Cup Championship, a championship inside of this Superbike class that is designed for stock 1000 racers to race their machines in it. And there's a look at the number one. So Josh Herron for 7th place has gotten around Benjamin Smith with his best time of the race so far at a 26 flat.
It's actually the best lap of anybody on that last lap. So Herron is going to just try to get into that groove. He's got to go chase down the 6 guys. He's running 7th currently, Jamie.
For Josh Herron, you know, you saw the reaction out on the grid. There was a lot of uncertainty there as we were getting ready to go, but he had uncertainty coming into the race itself, and the reason being they've just made so many changes on this bike. He said we've made more adjustments from session to session than we have all season long. They know what the points implications are at this point, and so for them, they've been just trying to get a little bit better, and he didn't have a whole lot of confidence coming into the race. So it's great to see him with his head down, able to come back up through the field, but it's going to answer some questions as we get ready for another race tomorrow.
Yeah, and I keep looking ahead here, Jamie, and seeing kind of what's happening with STK as he continues, Greg, to chip away. He's on a personal best lap, got the fastest second split of anybody in the race by some 3/10 over Beaubier. They come across the line now, 25.7. So now the track, Greg, starting to get a little bit more racy. First 3 riders that we have all in the 25s as they came across that last lap. So you can see SDK, the pace he's had is Max Flinders looks like he's got a problem. What a shame. Came all the way from last on the grid. Found himself up to 11th, didn't he?
He did, and unfortunately he is now slipping down as it looks like that machine is not going to make it to the end of the race. 8.5 laps to go of the 16 in this red flag restarted event. We have Bobby Fong, who just goes fastest lap of the race, a 1:25.796. Cameron Beaubier, his personal best, and Sean Dillon Kelly. So as SDK was putting the pressure on, Fong and Beaubier didn't know that, but they were answering even though they didn't realize how fast the rider behind him was going. So SDK put in a nice dig, but it didn't really net much for the Suzuki rider.
The biggest problem for Beaubier right now is where's he going to make this pass? That's going to be the hard question because he knows that one of the best, probably the best passing opportunity at the end of the back straightaway doesn't look like it's really going to be there for him. Now he's got 9 laps, Greg, 8.5 laps still to kind of try to decide where he wants to do it. But don't be surprised if it's going to be a move where he gets close out of turn 1 and then tries to do something with Bobby on the exit of 1 up to turn 2. And I don't expect it to happen anytime in the next few laps because Bobby did a really nice job getting out of there, didn't he?
Yeah, that last corner, that Yamaha R1 is dialed, although Beaubier is able to close back up on the back of the fastest lap of the race so far. 1:25.541 for Cameron Beaubier. Sean Dillon Kelly not able to go his personal best as they continue to light up. So Jake Gagne in 5th place, just behind the number 95. He set his fastest time of the race at a 26 flat.
He looks like he's got pace, doesn't he, Gagne?
He's picking it up.
He really does, and you can see he falls back. Hey, JD did a good job getting out of that corner there. And is making it a lot harder than Gagne would like it to be to try to get past that stock 1000 bike as you see the 2 leaders again peeling off at the end of the back straightaway. Cam knows that as long as Bobby's got kind of that tight line down the back straightaway, it's going to be a difficult pass. Now for Cam, he might try a lap or so going to the outside of that dry sweep because if he gives it a shot and sees that there's some grip out there, he might be able to go down the outside of Bobby because Bobby's going to have to pull the lever on harder the tighter it is. He's trying to find a very small line on the inside of that dry sweep So for Beaubier, he might start thinking, if I get a run on him down the back straightaway and can pull out to the left, I might be able to do something with him towards the outside of that turn.
Well, the rider that has it, that move you're talking about, dialed in the best, is JD Beach right now.
Yeah.
Continuing to go around the outside of that dry sweep, but Beaubier is too far behind him. He hasn't seen it. So Beaubier is going to have to test it at some point to see if he can pull it off.
Well, the thing is, he can draft Bobby. This is where I was thinking, but Bobby's really good out of here, too. You can see the Yamaha, a lot of grip on the exit there. He's not going to be able to do anything with a spot that I thought could be a potential passing opportunity, but for Beaubier, you're going to see he's getting out of here. Both these riders get out of the keyhole very nice. Cam, at the point where he feels like he can pull up alongside and pass Bobby, he doesn't really have a place to go. Bobby goes through this kink, kind of keeps it over to the right. You'll see here, kind of keeps that bike over the right. And here, again, for Cam to do this pass, it's going to be really, really difficult.
Off the back straightaway, where the red flag was really paused, and that's why you see that oil dry on the racetrack. So Beaubier's really got to formulate a plan if he's going to attack and snap this non-win streak that Beaubier has. Of course, Cameron Beaubier was 68 Superbike race wins in his career. Pretty incredible to think of the Californian. As you have the two teams looking on in this race. On the top, you have the Tyler Cycles, and on the bottom, you have the Attack Performance Progressive Yamaha team. You're talking about Bobby with the rear end?
Yeah, the body English that he used there to control that bike skating around on tip-in. That's a very tricky turn here, turn 13 at Mid-Ohio, and you're making a transition from right to left. Sometimes you're even doing a downshift into that corner on these Superbikes back to second gear. So Bobby using a lot of body English to control the movement that's happening underneath him, and you can see he's tremendously good out of turn 1 up to the keyhole. So he has that in his pocket. He wouldn't know that right now. All he knows is that he's got Beaubier right behind him. Here you go again. STK leading the way. JD Beach now has closed that gap down to Sean Dillon Kelly. And Gagne should get the advantage of a double bike draft here, but what can he do with it when he gets to the end of the straight?
I mean, incredible what we're seeing from the stock 1000 spec machine of JD Beach. Continuing to go around the outside. Look at the roll speed he's able to carry. And boy, if he could put this Honda on the podium, I mean, Hayden Gillum's going to be happy for him, but he's also going to be like,
a little disappointed too.
Because Hayden's lost touch with this group.
You're exactly right. That's the bummer. I mean, look at how much Gagne just loses a little bit through that section. Then he claws it all back in the third split. So Gagne's, this is kind of what this track does. There can be places where you're so much better than your opposition, and there's going to be other places where they could be a little bit better than you. And there's those bumps again that I talk about on that transition, Greg. Going into 13, and then this last turn, really hard to do anything with anybody here, but now Gagne's back on the back of JD Beach.
Back up front we go. Bong, 125.469, fastest lap of the race so far with 5 to go. Battle for third, number 40, Sean Dillon Kelly, Vision Wheel M4X Star Suzuki on the Superbike, battling it out with a stock 1000 and another Superbike. So a look at Fong and the number 6 of Cameron Beaubier. Ratchet back. We're taking a look at that stock 1000 bike. By the way, JD Beach, a 125.866, his fastest lap of the race on a stock 1000 machine, is absolutely ripping.
It's only 4/10 off the fastest lap of the race that was just done by Bobby Fong. Now, you can see here, JD's going to pull out probably to the left side. Yeah, he's going to go to the left side still. STK's getting that bike tight down there on the inside. See how much of a gap they pull on Gagne? Just getting into that corner.
Yeah, Jake's just not comfortable down there.
Right. So,
you know, whether it's the line choice or the setup of the bike, we don't know.
Right.
But that's what you're seeing for sure.
Yeah, and for right now, you know, Gagne's strong point, unfortunately, there's not really a lot of places for him to make a pass all through here. In JD Beach, I really did feel like Jake has pace. But, you know, we're not seeing a lot of passing at the front, mostly because of the area that we need to see the passing in might not be optimal right now.
Real Steel Honda team, left part of your screen, looking at their stock 1000 rider competing in this class and your Superbike Cup championship leader in this one, JD Beach, with the opportunity this season with this Real Steel Honda team to possibly win 2 championships. It would be the Superbike Cup and stock 1000. He's still got a lot of work to do, and you know what, Jason? He's got a lot of laps under his belt today, but definitely JD Beach is a hard-working rider. We definitely know that. He's a guy that even if it is 95 degrees in midday, he's going to go out on a motorcycle and get after it. All right, so the number one has had a decent kind of a resurgence in this. He's gone fast, 25.7 at one point, but for Herrin, it slowed down to a 27.5 last lap. So in 7th place with a bit of a gap between himself and Hayden Gillum as we continue to watch the battle for third, the final spot on the podium. This battle's happening, by the way, about 4.2 seconds adrift of Bobby Fong, who continues to lead, and he's eked out his advantage over Cameron Beaubier by 0.3 of a second. So Sean Dylan Kelly, number 40, getting hounded entire race long by JD Beach. By the way, the difference in mile an hour between these two motorcycles on the back straightaway, a full-blown Superbike Suzuki versus the stock 1000 Honda, with JD Beach able to get in the draft as much as he can, it's still about 3 to 5 miles per hour depending on the lap. And make no mistake, you know, that's a stock swing arm on that CBR 1000 RR-R.
When you watch out of here, last lap out of turn 1, Sean Dylan Kelly's bike spun up pretty good, and JD thought about trying to make a run down the inside. As you can see again, see how he's just kind of getting himself over to that right side, but just doesn't quite have the power to pull up alongside of that GSX-R 1000. And just riding just a perfect race. And obviously, JD Beach, Jake Gagne, very close friends, do a lot of that stuff with American Super Camp with Danny Walker and things. So these guys know each other very, very well. As you go back to the lead duo, Cam has now gone 25.4. He's beat that lap by 0.02 of a second, Greg, is all. And you can see here, JD's, see how close he was that time? He's trying to make something happen down here where he could try to roll around the outside. So that was the closest we've seen him to making a pass.
Start to see a little bit of movement out of Sean Dylan Kelly's Suzuki on the rear end of the motorcycle when he's applying the throttle. JD's bike looks pretty planted at this point, this late in the race with 2.5 laps to go. The battle up front, of course, between Fong and Beaubier, just 0.2 of a second after Beaubier set the fastest lap of the race. We're looking at the battle for third, and you can see where that Suzuki really comes off the corner strong.
Well, you can see too, Hayden's running a line right now that makes it difficult as the leaders complete another lap. We have 2 laps to go, Greg. 25.5s for the 2 guys at the front, 26.5s for everybody else here behind. So Hayden Gillum, like you said, he had a little bit of a resurgence a couple laps ago and looked like he was trying to get back to the back of these 3, not able to get there. Now, JD again, let's see how close he's willing to get down the back straightaway. And he's going to have to do something brave on the brakes around the outside of SDK. He's going to have a good draft this time. And if SDK leaves a little bit of room down that outside, JD's going to go out there and run the cushion like he's accustomed to in dirt tracking.
Off the back straightaway, these 2 leaders go. No real place to attack. Unless Cameron has figured something out that we don't know. He's got to do it somewhere else. But add to the mix, lap traffic up ahead, and who's going to get out of the way for this battle as Beaubier, with a lap and a half to go, is trying to figure out where can I close in on Bobby Fong. This might be an opportunity, but there's not much to it as they go outside, down the hill. So nothing there for Beaubier. And maybe because of how he feels the condition is of the racetrack, that he wants to on purpose leave it to the last lap, or maybe he's just riding on the edge, the number 6. But a little bit of traffic as they come onto the front straightaway. So now we'll see if Beaubier is able to get a good drive, a little wheel spin from the number 50. Leading the way into turn number 1 is Bobby Fong, and look at how much corner speed Fong has on that Yamaha R1.
He rolls through there, doesn't he, as he makes his way up to the keyhole. Now this is going to be another spot. We've watched Bobby Fong's racecraft this year be incredible, and he's got this lead still. He's got to get out of here good, and then I expect him to go down into turn 6, obviously very tight. He's got such a good drive out of there as well, didn't he?
He's so good through the keyhole.
Yep.
Look at here comes leaning on the BMW over, and now Beaubier is going to try that outside line. He's going around the outside. Oh no! There was no room to go. He wanted to occupy, and off goes Beaubier. He's trying to get us back on the racetrack.
Where's the battle?
Here comes the battle for third. It's right behind him. There it is. There's Sean Dylan Kelly, and he gets back on the racetrack. So Beaubier now gives that up. That's going to move JD Beach onto the podium. Oh, and Beaubier, another mistake.
Just got dirt on his tire, on the right side of his tire. What a huge implication for the championship.
Bobby Fong, what a race he's run under enormous pressure on the last lap. Everything has fallen in place for the number 50 on the Attack Performance Progressive Yamaha. Couple corners to go for the Californian. Here comes Fong onto the front straightaway. How do you like 5 in a row for Fonger?
Now we got this battle for second, Greg. It's going to be SDK over JD Beach.
JD Beach can't believe it. What a race he ran. It's going to be Sean Dillon Kelly, another spot on the podium. And here comes Josh Herron. Comes to the stripe in 7th place. And Sean Dillon Kelly 3rd, JD Beach on the podium after a 4th place finish earlier this season on Stock 1000 for Beach. Gagne, Hayden Gillum, Cameron Beaubier in 6th. What has happened to this championship points battle?
Wow. You know, Cam really tried to just get back down the inside to that inside line at the end of the back straightaway, but Bobby's bike was parked there. There was nowhere for him to go, and nobody, Greg, had really tried running over the dry sweep to really see what it was like, or if they did on the siding lap, I didn't see it, and they chose not to go over it again.
We'll talk more about this when we get back to Mid-Ohio and talk to Bobby about how he was able to handle that pressure and get 5 in a row.
Five in a row, and now an 11-point lead in the championship for Bobby Fong. And this last lap battle between himself and Cameron Beaubier, he wasn't going to see that position.
I just can't believe how this championship, the last 2 races, has turned upside down from Virginia, going into Virginia to race 2 tomorrow. It's crazy to see how it's turned around.
Obviously, right from the start, we could see the frustrations for Josh Herron, but once the lights went out, makes a really quick start, tries to attack for the race lead on lap 1, and then it's just a case of damage limitation from that point onwards for the number 1. Comes away with 9 points in 7th, but only 1 spot behind Beaubier. So the 2 riders that have been 1st and 2nd for much of the season, now 2nd and 3rd in the championship standings, but down the order in 6th and 7th in this race.
Yeah, and for Josh, he was uncomfortable right out from the beginning. Thought the track needed to be a little bit more cleaner. Some of the other guys wasn't sliding around as much, but for Josh, he definitely wasn't as comfortable and had a couple warning shots, I feel like, and kind of slowed down and make sure he got some points. He's not going to be happy when he comes in, though.
Yeah, you can see here for Josh immediately down there explaining his thoughts on the process as well. And obviously, Raj, when you get that chance to do the deciding lap, you want to be able to evaluate the conditions out there. And for Josh, obviously he was the one rider at the front of the field that we saw very vocal on the grid.
Not bad, fucker. 5 in a row.
And for Josh tomorrow, obviously the big thing that there's another race tomorrow as well, and he's going to start from the second row of the grid for that. There's points to be had here, and he needs those points now up against Bobby Fong for the championship. 5 in a row now for Bobby. He's only dropped 5 points from the last 3 rounds.
What a run he's on. He looks so good with the bike as well. With Suzuki again on the podium, and also a Honda. We got a Yamaha, Suzuki, Honda on the podium.
Yeah, and a stock 1000 bike up there as well for JD Beach. And JD was good value for that as well. All the way through the race, he was in that scrap for the final step of the podium and then able to take advantage of Beaubier on that last lap.
And he was right there behind Sean trying to make a move those last couple laps. Just incredible ride by JD. It's great to see. Get the momentum, but he's having fun again. Last year was a struggle, and now you can see what he's doing now. He's got his confidence back.
Yeah, it's a home round for him as well, or near. It makes no difference. And certainly for JD and the team, it's been a really strong weekend. The Stock 1000 race, to be able to win that one, and they're coming away with a podium in this one. And momentum goes into tomorrow as well.
And it's just a great job for that team as well. They put so much work in the Superbike and also Stock 1000, and be able to come away with the podium of Superbike's a heck of an accomplishment.
We had a delay before we were able to get underway for the opening Superbike race of the weekend, but Bobby Fong and Cameron Beaubier put on a good show at the front of the field. Bobby Fong with his 5th in a row in the Superbike class here in MotoAmerica.
MotoAmerica Superbike is brought to you by Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series. By NXT Bets. Play MotoAmerica for cash. Multiple race classes live on top sportsbooks and DFS platforms all season long. And by Permco, a leading manufacturer of high-pressure hydraulic gear, vane pumps and motors, flow dividers, intensifiers, and accessories.
Well, the story of this one, looking at the results, if you're looking at it on paper next year, is not the story of this race. So Bobby Fong gets himself an 8-second win over Sean Dillon Kelly, who is 0.2 of a second over. You're talking about 0.8 of a second between second and fifth, with Beaubier 11.1 back and Josh Herron there in 7th place. Incredible race. And Jamie is down to talk to Bobby Fong about the big dub.
For Bobby Fong, 5 in a row, standing on top of the Superbike podium. You can hear the fans' reaction here. Everyone excited to see this one. You are now the Superbike point leader as well, knowing that the target is now firmly on your back. How do you go forward?
Honestly, first off, I want to say thank you to my Attack Performance Progressive Yamaha whole crew. It's hotter than hell out here, and they've been working really hard. So, secondly, it's a bummer for Cameron. Honestly, he deserves to be up here, and I was doing everything I can to keep him behind me. He had some pace, and I'm actually gutted for him. He's a good buddy of mine, and hopefully he, I don't think he went down, but he ended up 6th, which is a bummer. But, yeah, I'm happy to be up here and looking forward to tomorrow.
A lot to look forward to, indeed. Congratulations to Bobby Fong and that entire team. It certainly takes the full effort. And in the case of Sean Dillon Kelly, he said it during that red flag. Momentum is the name of the game here in racing. You had it coming into today. You were able to execute. What do you do now going forward?
Yeah, man, can't believe it. 2nd place today after a pretty rough Friday yesterday. We were far off, but we made a big step this morning. And yeah, I'm in 2nd place. I think I got gifted a little bit after Cameron's incident down the last lap, but either way, I would have finished 3rd, so that makes me feel a little bit better. But it was amazing to see JD behind me, and obviously super happy to be here on the podium. Huge thank you to the whole Vision Wheel M4XR Suzuki. Finally got it right this time. Yeah, I think we're carrying momentum, right? I think it's definitely coming. We're doing the right things, and I still have a lot more to show, a lot more to do, and we're getting there. Thank you to all my sponsors, of course. I wouldn't be here without them. Huge thank you to 1833 CJ Knows. CJ, you're making this happen. Thank you, and Mike from the Palm Beach Police and Fire Foundation. Thank you guys so much.
Definitely going the right direction. Congratulations to Sean Dillon Kelly. How about JD Beach on a stock 1000, collecting a win in Superbike? Don't even know when the last time a Honda was on the podium here in the Superbike category. But for you, JD, you said it down in pit lane that you're able to take everything that you learned from race to race and apply it, and you did that today. How did you do it?
That was all luck. I mean, I got a good start, and with that oil drive first few laps, a few guys were a little timid, so I got kind of through a few guys and started losing a little bit of ground to Sean, and then just put my head down and try to catch him. But I mean, it feels amazing to get a podium out here on this thing, and I gotta thank Hayden. He laid the groundwork for this team, and he worked so hard. He deserved to get the first podium for the team in this class. But I mean, thank you to Hayden. I mean, I wouldn't be at the races this year if it wasn't for him. So I'm just so pumped on the American Honda Pro Oils Progressive Bike. I mean, thanks to the whole team, and we still got to go racing tomorrow, but I'm feeling good.
Big smile says it all. Greg?
Says, I don't care what he says, that's not a lot of luck. That day he rode it, he did the lap times, and he was right there, put himself in the mix. Jason Pridmore, this is how race 1 unfolded.
Yeah, you're going to see right off the bat, you saw that smoke back there, and you can see that both riders, both Max Flinders and Deion Campbell, are going to be okay. When they got their ready to restart again, Herron didn't seem too happy about it, but that didn't stop him from going and putting his nose into 2nd place. He'll get down to the end of the back straightaway, outbreak a little bit, just didn't really have a place where he thought he wanted to go. He gets 2nd, and then another big moment for him as he tipped into turn 8. And then it took him a little while to get going. The two out front, Greg, Bobby Fong and Cameron Beaubier pulled away only to get kind of drawn back in from STK and the chasing pack. But these two guys were decided on the last lap. Beaubier wanted really bad to get down to that inside line. Bobby Fong was having none of that as he wasn't quite able to make the pass. Bobby Fong goes off and wins by 8 seconds. This incredible battle for 2nd then ensued. Sean Dillon Kelly, JD Beach, Jake Gagne, and yes, Hayden Gillum right there on the back of them by the end of this race. They would end up coming across the line 2nd through 5th, with Cam Beaubier ending up 6th.
5 in a row for Bobby Fong. And here's a look at your championship standings, because I know it's on everyone's mind. So it's Bobby Fong with the championship lead now, 11 points ahead of Josh Herron, and 26 over Cameron Beaubier, with Gagne back there in 4th place. What a year we are having in the 2025 Superbike Championship here in MotoAmerica. And now you have a new points leader. On 5 is Fong. Boy, oh boy, what a race. He controlled the pace. He did such a great job. And when the attack came, he was in the perfect spot to defend, and he was able to get it done. What an incredible story for a rider who has waited his entire career. He started racing at the age of 15, Jason. He lied about it when he started racing, said he was 16. That's how much he loves racing. You got to join us tomorrow. Can Bobby Fong get the double hat trick, 6 in a row, or is someone going to stop him? Make sure you check us out at 3 o'clock East from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. What a race. Well, for Jamie and Jason, I'm Greg. Thanks so much for joining us. We can't wait to see what happens here at Mid-Ohio tomorrow.
Division winner M4 X-Star Suzuki. As I said, it's been more than...
Our action in the Superbike class is finished, but now we've got the Mission King of the Baggers ready for their 9 laps here for their opening race of the weekend. Hayden Gillum lining up on pole position in this one. Troy Harfrost and Rocco Landers up there on the front row as well. And Rog, obviously after everything we've just seen in the Superbike class, everything's a little bit brought forward now for the Baggers, just to get themselves out on track as quickly as possible to make up for the lost time.
Yeah, and all these riders probably watch the Superbike race to see the